Hey guys, my name is Anastasia and today we're going to talk about test automation career path. We'll get a lot of questions. What is the career ladder for a test automation engineer? This is a great question as this role is always perceived as a flat, and sometimes it's hard for the managers to determine how one can grow within this role. And today I will give you a guide how to level automation engineer and SDET. So, level 1 is a junior automation engineer. This is the person who is relatively new to automation tasks. He might have some testing skills, but relatively new to the coding, or it can be vice versa. He can have some experience in coding, but lack of testing skills. So at this level, automation engineer is able to add tasks to the suite, to the existing framework. They are essentially using the existing building blocks to create tests. A junior engineer should not be tasked with independently building a framework from scratch, since this will require a lot of coding, architecture, and technical skills. They should be assisted with the senior automation engineers or developers. Mid-level automation engineer. This is the person who has solid skills in coding and testing, and not only automate tasks, but also expand the existing project by adding support for tests. For example, given an existing framework, mid-level automation engineer can add classes and functions to the new pages, components, or services, and does not have to rely on team members for support. However, this engineer is not quite ready to build automation framework from scratch. Senior automation engineer is the person who is well-versed in coding and testing. He is not only authorizing the test, but can build a test automation project from scratch. Senior automation engineer understands various test-specific design patterns and know exactly how to use them and know when to use each. Engineers at these levels are usually reviewers on a test-related pull request and also help out to establish best practices for them. Those automation engineers are able to coach developers on how to write tests and build testable code. They also can identify which tests should be automated and which are not worth the trouble. Senior automation engineers does not spend as much time on building the tasks, as they've delegated this to the junior or mid-level automation engineers. They spend more time on building a test framework to enable others who are writing tests. Automation architect. This is the person who has a deep knowledge in software delivery as a whole, and he is not only able to develop an automation framework from scratch, but also will do this in a way that will promote maintainability and reusability. They have a good understanding of both coding and software principles, as well as when and where to properly use abstractions. Automation architects are well versed in different automation tools and also are able to evaluate new tools for their teams. An automation architect is capable of automating tasks at any level, unit, integration, or end-to-end. Skilled architects are even comfortable with blending different approaches and tools to optimize test suites. While architects are capable on writing some of the most optimal tests, this is not the best use of their time. Instead, they often can be found architecturing frameworks and internal tools in order for the other team members to stay effective. These tools are not always for tests themselves, but can also be other productivity solutions expanding beyond tests. Because of their broad scope of skills, automation architects are typically assigned to the whole department versus the sprint team. Automation team lead. This is the person who is responsible for guiding a team of automation engineers. He provides strategy and mentorship. Much like automation architect, team automation lead understands how automation tasks fit into the bigger picture of software delivery and often use their skills for building CI/CD pipeline, optimizing the test execution, and ensuring that tests are providing fast and reliable feedback to the team. Automation team leads are often tasked to grow a good army of SDET engineers. Therefore, they usually has hiring and interviewing responsibilities. Automation leads regularly collaborate with other stakeholders such as business owners, developers, clients, etc. They help these key players to understand the role of automation. Consulting automation engineer. This is the person who is usually hired for their ability to implement a winning test automation strategy. Many times, they will build an initial test project as well as some other tasks to demonstrate a proof of concept that can be used and further expanded by the team. Many automation consultants are brought in short term to get the team on the right track. However, there are some companies that employ consulting automation engineers full-time. When working as a full-time permanent employee, consulting automation engineer typically strategize for multiple teams and departments, therefore formulating a global task strategy for the entire company. Automation engineer at this level has a lot of experience and can identify problems that can be seen in automation project. Because of this, he is able to foresee problems before they will arise and advise on the best course of action to mitigate and avoid the risk altogether. The best consulting automation engineer is not only providing a technical expertise but also helps company to create a culture that supports test automation initiative. As you can see, test automation career path is really broad and there is a lot of room for growth. Hopefully, you're properly classified and know what it will take to get to the next level. I think you got a lot of useful information, and if you wanna learn more, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Bye-bye!